Yeah, it happens sometimes that I think people might just be lurking in the club lobby without actually having checked in for a round today. I haven't had that happen to me before, but we are in anyway, and I will be going first. So let's see what we can make. Probably just going to be something like Joy. Yeah, Joy Fist. Okay. Not looking too bad so far. We'll see if this is actually something. Oh, you got paired before when you left a tab open for hours? Yeah. I mean, I was certainly lurking in here for quite some time, just kind of when I was AFK as well, prior to rounds actually starting, so completely understand how that could happen. Alright, let's see what we can do here. I'm just looking at my options right now through the R, perhaps even through to C. Not going to sit on this one for too long. The double T. Oh, you know what? I just have fatties. I don't have a place for that, though. So, never mind that. But we can see if there's something that looks like it. That would go through one of the existing letters on the board. Failing that, might just go for something pretty simple. Like even just dumping the F here. I don't really like remaining doubled on T, but yeah, I don't want to burn too much time on this early in the game. Also, of course, sometimes when you have a 7, you have to look carefully to see if you might just have a 6 that'll hit both. Or rather, to play with 6 tiles that'll hit both. Or something that might go through here, for instance, with the F. I think I might actually just dump this. Don't like the double T, as I said, but... Okay, this is definitely something. In fact, I should know what this is. It's not hard to see. But I'm also still looking through the R, in case we don't have much to work with here. I say that I think I know what this is, and I actually don't see it yet. I mean, we have, like, no spot for something like Teeniest. We must have something here. Like, I see a lot of potential 8s through various tiles. I'm, once again, still considering the R. And this is what the warm-up goes like sometimes. That it's probably something extremely easy and high probability, and I just don't see it. So we'll see what we can do with that. Yeah, I'm definitely missing something. But again, it's just a matter of how long I'm going to stay on this before I kind of admit defeat. Yeah. I might just have to do something here. Like, you know, undouble or something. That's a silly play. Sort of an embarrassing situation to be in some ways. But better that than nothing. I am ahead slightly. And I'm losing too much on time at this point. I was missing something. I just could not see it. Anyway, lots of stuff in this rack. You got, like, strines and so on. Estrins. Lots of stuff that'll fit everywhere. I believe Strines is good, Estrins, inserts. I have no idea what I missed in the previous one, but let's not get too hung up on that. Okay, right, I mean, could potentially have something down here. But something on the J might be pretty good as well if we're looking at options. So for example, I would be looking at something like Strines, which actually is kind of decently defensive in terms of killing the X thing over there. Lots of options down here as well, something very similar, you know, with both the E hook and the S hook in that position. How much is this again? 75. Same idea. That leaves the board quite a bit more open. No, let's just... That's not bad either, actually. Very restrictive. It does take the O up top, but we have the O, so... Anyway, 5 minutes down already. That's kind of a warning to start pushing ahead a little bit. But we'll see what we can make of it. Like I said, there is the O hook on top of Estrins that we could potentially use. There is also... Oh, okay. Going to draw a challenge. That's interesting. Something he should know called, I think. He's a pretty good player. But it's 5-point challenge, so I can see why he would check. I mean, I find that, you know, psychologically adjusting the 5-point challenge is something that is still something I'm working on. And that's the kind of intuition you need sometimes to make those calls when you have imperfect word knowledge. Like a really imperfect word knowledge is something that is really just a skill set when it comes to playing in Collins. Yes, currently sort of seeing if we have anything that could actually go there. Particularly if I have a way to deal with the V and a U. Failing that, I mean, might just drop nav here. Not for very many points, but it would at least be able to take care of the V. I mean, keeping the O here is something that, you know, will remain an idea into the next turn if we don't use the O right now. Just seeing what we could do, potentially, to spring something here. Well, let's not dwell on too much. We got to catch up a bit on time. V is also going to be not the best tile to work with for anything down the right side, so... Always have this temptation to check OUT first, even when it's not really close to anything. But that might just be a long-term habit with this game. Still kind of thinking about this spot here. And Mumuga lurking for Q sticks. Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing here. No Q stick in this game though, with the Q already down on the board, but I know what you mean. You're talking about the channel points, but... So Mumuga, the story behind why the channel points are in fact named Q sticks is because that is the terminology for when one player has the Q at the end of the game and has nowhere to play it. And that just kind of stuck. T is actually going to go on top of that if we want to do something with it. I mean, it would probably have to be something like, you know, tune or something for 20. I'm not terribly attached to that idea, I'm just saying. It is worth a look, considering how quickly the board is beginning to close up apart from the obvious hooks here that I can't use. H does go down here as well. That's something I have to remember. That CH is totally an idea that will work if we just want to do something. I probably won't drop it something all the way down to the triple because that will get me into trouble. Yeah, here I don't know if there's something that would actually allow me to use the H. I know that this, not that we're worried about the S, but that does not take in the S in NWL. It might in Collins, I don't actually know. I don't really want to open this though. So we can go this, that would kind of keep the U, or we can go here, which doesn't make the opening worse, I guess. Let's just go here. Burning way too much time, as I said. I should actually try to spend some more tiles, I guess. I mean, it's very easy to kind of get trapped in thinking about turnover, but here I think I actually do want to draw into the bag. To the extent that I can, which right now, yeah, not much going on here. If I do something like off here, nah, I don't like to leave. But if you do something like fonts, yeah, I mean, I guess that's a bit of a dangerous spot on top of the F, though. So let's see what else we can do here. Certainly still looking at some other spots like that as well. I mean, something like this, yeah, you kind of opens up some stuff. I don't know how terrible that is. I mean, you know, you get the various hooks on fun, but they're going to take a bit of a different shape than the lane on jet. I'm only going to have so much control at this early stage of the game, given that we're not really even halfway through the bag yet. But as you can see, positionally this is tightening up somewhat. 2 blanks and 2 S's still available, so we have to keep that in mind for stuff like this. 2 D's also in the bag for the fun hook. Don't think there's anything in front of here, even in Collins. But we'll see. Sitting on a lot of one-point direct right now, but that's stuff that I can play off. And yeah, we just need to not fall into the trap of opening stuff up that I can't deal with. Okay, so I mean, this is one of those situations, I think, where I just need to continue. Might even just continue to step ladder, to be honest. Like, that's going to take a lot of hooks on the bottom, but on a lane that will give back to triple, probably. And so I'm just kind of managing the rack at this point. I am also kind of managing a rack that is tending towards bingo tiles, which are kind of incompatible with the shape of the board right now, but we just have to play a little quicker in general and see what else we can do here. Okay. Currently, sort of looking down this position as well. You know, because there's stuff like this. Pant will take the O on bottom. It does kind of open a triple lane. I don't quite like doing that. 30 points, though. After my opponent has just made a 2-tile sort of anti-vowel play. That might be a bad idea. I wouldn't just want to drop the O there, though, would I? In case of a heavy consonant going down that way. Although, I mean, that pulls ahead by enough that I can absorb something that would hit back pretty hard. I just don't know if I'm comfortable doing that. Because there's clearly some rack management going on that side. I just don't see another decent play right now, though. And like I said, I'm keeping the O for myself if I want to do something like inbox. Trying to take a look at this too, in case we have something using the blank that would allow me to drop the X on the 5th location there. Don't know if that will actually be anything. I mean, currently sort of looking at what possibilities we might have for an 8 as well, but I think with the B and the X at the same time, not much potential here for bingos. I can't think of any hooks in front of tin, but again, my Collins hooks knowledge is not good. And so there might be something there that I'm not really managing to anticipate. Okay, we need to think about this in case the X is going to go down that way. I don't know if I would necessarily spend the blank on it, though, given that we are going to, as I said, get something like 52 for inbox. Yeah, I mean, given that I would have to spend the blank to do something here, it would have to be something that hits really hard to be worth it, which I really don't see anyway, so... just going to check this quickly to make sure we're not missing anything even better, but I like it. Pretty heavy with a G's right now. So here, now we would consider spending the blank. I don't think that's going to remain open, but if we have something like glaze, that's 70 some right there. Failing that... Biotoxin, wow. Do we actually have a place? No, that was just a speculative 8. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because I was trying to think about what would work in terms of any 8s at all, and I just didn't see that. But I think bio is one of those prefixes that I often fail to consider carefully enough, and which actually has a surprising number of bingos that could show up. Same with things like eco and geo and so on, that, you know, they have vowel placements that I think are a little out of the ordinary. And you don't think of them as being prefixes that have particularly long lists, but if you just kind of write off those racks right away, then you missed the good stuff. You got biocides down in a recent game. Congratulations. That's a pretty interesting one. It's one of those where, you know, I'd be able to tell myself, okay, that looks pretty decent. I think he was unsure about Panto. I think a Panto is just a pantomime. I'm fairly sure about that. But the word hit hard enough that I think it's justified to check if you're not absolutely certain. It is short for pantomime, okay. Yeah, because I've just heard people describe pantomimes as a panto before, so... but the thing is, does it take ES or only S? Because I think if you have E and S, I'm trying to see what else is actually in that 7, because that's an alphagram that's easily within a probability range I should know. And I feel like I would guess that it does. Like Pantos, P-A-N-T-O-E-S. Like, I can't remember off the top of my head if it's actually fine with the ES ending, but it would be one that I wouldn't think of challenging, unlike something like Biocides, where I would be able to say, okay, that looks like it has a very plausible meaning, but it's also weird enough that depending on my opponent, I would often assume that a lot of opponents were kind of guessing at it as well. Okay, only panties. Can't think of anything else that would go there. So yeah, I guess maybe that is just a sort of potential phony at the back of my head that I should be aware of. Anyway, Glaze is really going to seal this game for me, I think, but I did not expect that to stay, so it didn't. It really would have solved a lot of problems with this rack, because this rack is an ugly, ugly thing. So yeah, here still kind of thinking of that idea, but I don't really have much to do with it that would just create a massive opening. I mean, what I could do is something like this, because if I draw vowels, I could potentially, for example, if I draw an E, I could go Zest down here. Having Z blank does kind of open that up for some possibilities. And the L isn't really that great when it comes to what it takes in the back. So, like, this is kind of a weak play, but it does have some potential for setups I can cash in on. So I was thinking about something like Zest or 70. But mainly I just wanted to manage to wreck there. Again, not really a bingo board of any sort right now, so... I mean, even if you drew the right kind of tiles, you could even have a B there for Zebu. Yeah, because you've got B here, you've got C here, although I don't think that will really work with anything. F here, that won't work with anything either, but basically lots of stuff that could go with various draws. Now, once again, I don't necessarily think that will stay open either, but the L is sort of restrictive enough, and you look at the pool, there's nothing that hits really hard. The pool is actually increasingly looking like one where my opponent might just be drawing towards bingo tiles that he can't play. And currently, you know, with the stepladder going all the way down here, I have absolutely no incentive to continue opening that up. Something like a double vowel ending on the E still has some potential. But other than that, I'm ahead by enough at this point that if I just keep things relatively tight and threaten short plays with a Z, I'm not in bad shape. Okay, so that is going to kill that idea. But we still have other alternatives, for instance. I don't know if that's exactly what I want to go for, but it might be best. I mean, currently just making sure I don't have anything better that would lay off some more, but no, I think we just need to take it. Just try to lock up the win. And yeah, we'll just keep it tight. And just see what happens from here. This one, you know, at this point, with 14 in the bag, there is one blank remaining, but I'm able to probably just kill one lane at a time as they open up. And so I'm not overly concerned about board control at this point. Like, I just need to not do anything particularly silly when it comes to creating unnecessary openings, so. Yeah, I think we're in decent shape. We've been holding the blank for quite a while without using it for anything. I've been holding it ever since Inbox, in fact. But it is kind of a tight board. It's just something I'm keeping in hand for emergencies. Or for some extra flexibility in the endgame, which I think will be helpful in a board that's tightening up as much as this one is. Okay, so relief. Yeah, we'll just figure out some way to keep it locked down, I think, unless there's some kind of crazy 8 that's going to go down here, but that would, of course, require me to almost certainly use the blank as a second vowel. You know, if you have something like an ly or ty ending or something like that. But with these tiles, I really wouldn't count on that being worth looking into, so even something like this might be good. This has a problem in that I believe it takes an A hook in front. Otherwise, I would try to dump a little bit more. But if we keep things reasonably closed, I think we're fine. Yeah, because, you know, a lot of 6 tile fits here, but nothing that will hit me particularly hard. Now, in case something does open up, I am currently looking at what might actually go down with this here. Like if you're looking at everything here, I mean, I might just go BL here. That'll tighten things up a bit, and with 5 tiles in a bag, that leaves 3 in the bag. Some potential for a bingo, but it won't be enough to catch me at this point. Just looking quickly, I think bluiest is actually good. Not that it will fit, it doesn't fit. But if we're looking at 7s, I feel like bluiest is in fact correct. Still just, yeah, I mean, we would need to use the blank in order to have something fit on top of the M, I think, because the only thing that fits currently on our rack is U. Like, looking at taboos or something, but I think that requires an extra tile. Let's just play this. And we'll see. Like I said, opening up the top lane does create a bit of danger. If you look at the remaining pool right now, I'm thinking of stuff like, I don't know, Banisher or some kind of crazy play through 2 tiles that would give you Brainwash or something, but obviously not with the kind of spacing we have, because that's 9 letters. But I see something like Banisher as being a particular threat, or something with like the B-A-R-E prefix, for instance. Not exactly sure what it would be, but anyway, we're ahead by enough that I am not too concerned. As far as what I have, oh, we might as well take a look just to see if there's something that might be okay. Unfortunately, not botulism. Botulism, yeah. So, yeah, we have botulism. If it remains open, I don't really expect it to remain open. Unless my opponent is, like, trying to fish off to the side or something. Like, if he has nothing and he wants to fish for a second lane, then we just hit botulism. If this lane closes down, we have no bingo anyway. Unless we're just given some other opening location. No, there's no way that a play will go here, but okay, let's take a look at this just in case. But I think we'll just go with botulism. I think that's how to spell it. Yeah, probably no need to sit on this for too long. Let's just do it. As long as the spelling looks okay. I think it does. I think that's how you spell it. Really have to know your different kinds of food poisoning and other threats to your health. Yeah, because initially I was just kind of looking at IUM. And yeah, exactly, that's going to go down. Wieners. Very good. Glad he got something down. So let's just pass. So yeah, that one's fairly clear. I'm pretty happy with some of the finds I had. We would have to walk through the board, I think, to look at it a bit closely, but thank you for the GG. So, just going to check quickly to see if we're anywhere close to the next pairings, but because we did start this round here a little bit late. All words on the board are valid. Yeah, let's just step through quickly, if we can. I mean, mostly just to see what plays we missed. I think strategically speaking, things were kind of closed down most of the way, and plays seemed generally pretty sound, so. I was actually thinking of Joist, but I didn't want to spend the S that way. Even though I guess by equity, it's about equal. Like the extra 14 points from Joist. You can see it's almost completely balanced out when you look at the equity value in the analyzer. I think it makes a lot more sense to just play Joy and, you know, keep the S in hand this early. Don't know if there would be any massive extensions on Joy. I mean, you could have like Joyride and such, but like Joyriding, maybe. Not that that kind of thing would stay open. Yeah, creepy. Oh, crepey. I see. Yeah, less good to spend everything, but I can see why he would want to keep things open, especially because the C doesn't open up there. I was wondering if I missed something here. Okay, so... yeah, I guess there was nothing here. I don't think I actually knew Fasty. Fasty... that's a really interesting series of extensions on Joy, actually. Joy Fuller. Joy Pot. Like, the other ones I'm not too surprised by, but... what is a Joy Popper? Let's actually define that, just to see. One who joy pops. Oh, I see. Okay. Pop some drugs for joy, apparently. Not sure what's going on with Fasty here. Yeah, it is Collins only. That's why I wouldn't have seen it among, you know, 5-letter words that have the 4-point tiles. That's a list I would have looked at before in NWL anyway. But at least I didn't miss any bingos there. As far as just playing off Fa goes, it's not terrible. I'm almost certain I missed something on the next turn, though. Netties... okay, come on. How on earth did I not see that? That is just a highest probability miss we've had in some time. Oh, no, that's because it is Collins only. Okay, that's why I wouldn't have necessarily recognized it from Alphagram. And I don't know if I would have been confident in trying it. Okay, I see. Yeah, because I would have been thinking about like the Nettier 10-tier set or things like that. So, okay, at least I have an excuse. This, I feel like I do know, though. Trent is... or however one pronounces it. Like, that I should know. It's a little bit harder to see, and I was looking at the R, and by alphagram, if I had bothered to actually jot down the alphagram, maybe I would have seen it, but Insetter, yeah, I missed all kinds of stuff. Sternite I absolutely should have seen. Interest, like, look at this. Can't believe I actually won this game after playing like that, but that's okay. We were ahead. I opened up lanes on a bingo prone rack. I was pretty sure I'd hit something next turn. Yeah, this is a really good one to know, this T there. And it's one I do know because I've seen the bingo with an S before. Which is a good one to know because people might try phonies sometimes with similar tiles. So yeah, Estrins, that was not bad by position actually. That's something that really did shut down like crazy. At least on the right side. Very fruitful rack, yeah. It was one of those where I'm staring at them and thinking, okay, this, like I absolutely have something, but sometimes you just sort of have this moment of intense tunnel vision. Love this Daiquat. Do I actually know if this is a lexical? Yeah, I thought it was. I would have seen it. Would have seen it before, rather. Anyway, not my rack. He just plays off the Q, I believe. And yeah, just had this total blind spot for the T hook the whole time on Relic. Even as something that I do technically know. Yeah, I wouldn't have done this, obviously, because of all this. Yeah, Agouti... kind of a horrible wreck, actually, over on my opponent's side here. I was looking at Hound. I didn't really like the D positioning. Oh, I actually didn't consider Thou. I was looking at this and trying to do something to string the T and the O together that would use the H, and I just didn't see Thou for some reason. Yeah, I mean, I would have wanted to put the T there. I wouldn't have just wanted to do something like this that would leave the lanes open up top. Still visibly very Val heavy on my opponent's side. Futon. Not bad, actually. Still pretty restrictive on the bottom, in fact. I don't know if it's necessarily the spot. Like, I was already thinking T-O. And I just didn't see that for some reason. Probably because of the OU ending being a little bit weird. Because that would have solved a lot of problems at once. Like, it was scored, it would have taken care of those positions without opening up. It would have dumped a U. Like, if I had seen it, I think it would very clearly be to play. What is a Reggie? French system of government. Or tobacco monopoly, okay. Anato. I don't know if it's related to an Arnato. Yes, it is. I was thinking this was one of the ones in the Arnato related set. Let's see if we can actually punch that in. Pretty large set, as you can see. I think the related command does pull from definitions, hence some of the words that are only semi-related. But lots of different variants of Anato here that I just didn't see. Probably because even if you have a lot of these high point tiles, the doubling means that by probability, this is perhaps pretty far down to stack. Because you've got double A, double N, double T, right? Like, so, you know, you're swimming in bingo-prone tiles, but if you're studying by alphagram, you might not see the stuff for the longest time, for all I know. And yeah, I guess Jelamokas, that is why the Ruku is all the way down there. That's how one pronounces it. And, thanks for coming by the way. So, yeah, this was the later sort of panto idea that I had. This, I mean, you know, I guess it doesn't make my position much worse. And we're both just kind of managing racks on a kind of tightening board at this point. You can see by equity away, Panto and Pant are kind of there. I was not quite comfortable with this, but paid off in the end. Okay, missed Invader and Ravine, probably from missing the Tana hook down there. Let's actually just put a fine on that. Yeah, also a Collins hook, a very good one to know, I think. I certainly didn't see it. So, when I was thinking about what Tan would have opened up. And so, my opponent, despite being somebody who is kind of a Collins-preferring player, he is somebody who comes from NWL originally, like a lot of the people in this club who do play Collins. So even a lot of the Collins players still sometimes, when it comes to board vision, they have a bit of an NWL bias still built in. Some of them anyway, some of them study enough that they get past that pretty smoothly. But I think you can definitely see that from people who are considering plays. Okay, so I saw Inbox, but I didn't see Paintbox. That would have been fantastic. Because I was just looking at this and thinking, okay, we have so much clashing between the consonants. I can look at different kinds of boxes, but I guess I just didn't consider 8s through the A with boxes. 101 for Paintbox, that would have been spectacular. But between Inbox and keeping the blank... Oh, look at this. Look at this, I had narrowly dodged something here. That would have pulled ahead. Reawoken would have taken the lead. Weird rack, though, in some ways. I mean, but a dangerous one. So, really dodged a bullet there. And yeah, you know, leaving the triple lane open when I'm ahead, when that's one of the few ways I can lose, maybe I shouldn't have been too excited about like trying to outrun things with Inbox. Yeah, I guess over knee, being an adjective, just isn't going to take anything in back. Let's take a look at some of the other ones here. You've got over knee, over keen. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But, my goodness. Even with the W on the bonus square, like with the blank there, that would have hit extremely hard. Yeah, I mean, I was maybe considering stuff like that, but thought I would get a little bit fancy with the log idea down here, which could have paid off for all I know. And as you can see, my opponent's still kind of drawing towards bingos that are going to be unplayable. And yeah, between that and Za on a board that's kind of shaped like this with 16 left, I think I was okay with keeping a vowel. I mean, at this point I'm just sort of drawing for the possibility that my opponent tries to dangle a new hook and I either block it or take it, right? So and yeah, as you can see, just really, really bingo prone rack sets are just frustrating my opponent the whole time. And Mamuga apparently, wow, that's a pretty huge drop in the subscription cost in Mexico. Because I do know, as I was saying in a previous stream when you were telling me about the regional pricing Mamuga, that in a lot of digital storefronts that Mexico was particularly disadvantaged before regional pricing had come in. I don't know what it is about the exchange rate that makes that happen, but that's how it goes. Yeah, was thinking about stuff like Glay, but didn't like dangling the front hook or creating more lanes in general when I thought my opponent was likely to be close to something, so I don't mind just keeping things tight. here, he's got 7 in the bag at this point. Definitely wishing for something like... oh, I don't know. Let's see what's actually in there. Yeah, as you can see, not dangling the A hook with a glay would have been good here, given the number of A bingos that would have hit. Probably should have tried to solve that myself, but... okay, subtile, which is what happens when you kind of place letters that's, I don't know, fit in kind of a subdivision of the square. What is subtile? Oh no, it's basically just subtle. But I've seen this before. I know that's... this spelling is just sort of a different spelling of subtle. I'm pretty sure I've seen it. But I always think of it as being a subdivision of a tile. Because I know this has jumped out at me before for that exact reason. That it's something I've seen. Yes, subtile means subtle. Yeah, exactly. Like, I remember sort of going through that exact thought process before. Look at that. Lots of stuff that would actually go to the L there. So, I mean, I was sort of expecting that something might go down. At that point, I was pretty comfortable with taking a win, though. Botulism is going to be best. Stomium. And, yeah, that's pretty clear in terms of what's going to happen at this point. Just all about placement. Okay, so much for that. We do have our pairing for the next round. Next round is going to be NWL, I think. So let's just head over there. Yeah, so some big misses on both sides this game. What with that whole sequence in the middle with that paint box, and then dodging. What was it? Reawakens? Reawaken? Yeah. Mimuga, you don't know 90% of the words in my games? Yeah, I don't think my percentage is much higher than that. I certainly don't know what everything means. But that's fairly typical when it comes to Scrabble, so... okay, let's go. It's gonna be NWL, double challenge. And yeah, I believe that is my pairing, so... okay, going to wish my opponent a good game. And let's get into it. Anyway, Muga, you know, it's very often... obviously, you know, when people get into this game, they do a lot of word study. What should we do here? I actually kind of want to just jump EEO. I don't know if that's the best exchange here, but I would rather exchange out of this one rather than just playing like Razi or anything like that. 30 points, so maybe that's not bad. Just play out of it. Not even with that placement necessarily. I guess that would sort of take an S to the back at a weird spot. So, might as well just take the points. Draw into the back of it. I don't know if that's a good placement, like this. Whoops. Oh, shoot. Sorry. My mistake. Just a moment here. We gotta fix something. Backed into the wrong game. Okay, sorry about that. I was worried that would happen, actually. Sometimes when I forget to activate the telestrator, I accidentally just hit back. Anyway, we're back in. Mimuga, I was saying, you know, people kind of study words to play this game, but even at my sort of middling level, like, I'm picking up a lot of things from experience from just playing the game a lot and seeing what my opponents do, and occasionally losing challenges. The cat does not approve. Oh, Zoe does not approve. Yeah, of course. I've got to admit, as much as the cats show up on Will's cat cam, I can't always tell who is who for all the times that I've actually watched his stream. But yeah, no, I was definitely considering dump OEE, especially because we're going first, and it would just be that first turn mulligan. Maybe that's correct for the first turn, rather than just trying to take 30 and leave myself with 2 vowels, but as you can see, we actually got a fairly fortunate draw for a 2-vowel leave. Like, this actually worked out pretty well. This did not work out well. Luckily, my opponent did not just try to set up Zax, because that would have gone particularly badly. Physics is fun, physics is raid, actually, so let's give you a quick shout out. Physics is Fun is a fellow Scrabble streamer who also does some crossword races in the middle of the week and also a lot of GeoGuessr. I think it was actually Physics on his stream that kind of introduced me to the concept of GeoGuessr. Okay, well, we should probably just go something like this. Don't like breaking up the H and the C, but you know what? That's fine. You beat Hasty Blindfold. Congratulations on the achievement. That's something that has, of course, been the gauntlet laid down by Benji for some time. I believe Josh has done it on stream, you've done it on stream, and I think Jackson did it separately, right? Like, not on a live stream, but on some kind of other local recording. So I think that's the leaderboard right now when it comes to people playing blindfold against a bot. Oh, not in 10 minutes? Yeah. Physics is fast, but blindfold, that might take a bit of work. Congratulations anyway, though. I mean, I think even just playing regularly against hasty bots, I have an absolutely dreadful record. So you just kind of need to draw into it. I haven't actually tried blindfold myself yet. It's something that I think I'll need to condition myself towards. Relearn the NATO alphabet while I'm at it. What am I doing here? Let's just take a look here. Don't think I actually have any 7s, but I'm just looking at this. I often don't consider things like the CON prefix enough, considering how powerful they actually are. This V placement is really kind of killing some things. Hobo as a hook actually does solve a couple of things. So, for example, you just go con here, leave myself the I hook, leave myself an E hook, leave myself lanes. Yeah, let's just do it. Whatever. Yeah, Benji, no, we're just talking about the blindfold challenge that's been going on lately as something that I believe you instigated to the considerable entertainment of us all. This is going to be Opaline, so, you know, you could do something like here. Look at that placement, it's just ugly. I think that's the only place it's going down, though. We just have to do it. Yuck. Oh, that's okay. You know, hotspots, there's a sort of hotspot kind of volatility I can deal with, I think, as the player who is ahead. Like, I think sometimes I'm a little paranoid about it, considering that counterintuitively, I mean, if I'm ahead by more than a bingo, like, I should actually be thinking about hotspots as a reliable pool of scoring to tap into, right? So, yeah, normal people worry me. I've been kind of rotating between a couple of different video game soundtracks lately, because at least that's going to be copyright safe most of the time when it comes to Twitch. Oddly enough, I keep getting hit with muted audio shenanigans from Twitch when I actually am playing a game audio in Super Mario World. It's a long-standing conflict I have with Twitch that has not really been resolved. But let's see what we can do here. This is not Snake Pass, Mamuga, but that's a fairly good guess, because this is David Wise' soundtrack to Tropical Freeze, I believe. And I think it was like one of the DKC composers, either David Wise or Grant Kirkhope, who actually did work on Snake Pass, I believe. Or maybe I'm thinking of Ukulele, I'm not sure, but they definitely were hired for one of those games. What am I even doing here? Yeah, I was trying to look at this. I might even just, you know, block things up here. We'll do it. Whatever. It's not exactly a closed board. Tons of stuff going on. Tons of stuff going on. You know, if we just go pesty here or something like that next turn. Unless there's something I can do without spending the S that way, but... Oh, I'm playing NWL, so I believe this is not good. So no Y hook down here. Mamuga, you were asking earlier what dictates where the next word should go. A couple of things. So, I mean, you're thinking about how many points you're scoring, first of all. Just the pure point value of your placement. You're thinking about the value of the tiles that are remaining on your rack, because you don't want to play in such a way that it corners you into an unplayable position next turn. Like, you're always thinking about investing in future turns. And you're also thinking about position in terms of what the board is going to look like for your opponent, and whether there's some kind of really risky thing that they could capitalize on that would allow them to take a huge lead. Like, I mean, that's kind of a simplification, and other people here could explain a lot better, but you just kind of consider a couple of different factors and you balance them against each other to figure out what you want to do. So one tile play from my opponent, that means she's probably close to something. I should probably just take the points. Yeah, didn't quite like the leave there, really, but... we'll just do something here. I guess we could have... No, you can't really undecide something. You can be undecided, but not that we have a tile to play through for that. Yeah, just too many vowels in general. Just might want to lay off some stuff. Make small plays or something silly. Yeah, score this turn, opponent's average score next turn, your average score the turn after, yeah. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, I think. I sort of think of it too abstractly sometimes as being position, I think, even though you only really have so much control with the information you're given. Mamuga, oh, you're wondering more if there are any constraints other than borders and other letters? As in what the legal plays are? Yeah, the legal plays are just that every word you make, like when you make a parallel play, you're also making multiple words at once, right? Every word has to be a valid word in the dictionary. Although there is an element of bluffing sometimes, where if you think you can get away with a play that will go unchallenged, there are reasons why you might want to do that on purpose. Okay, we might as well just close this to reduce the scoring potential there, and that still leaves a pretty big lane for myself either way. My opponent is just consistently fishing off one at a time now, so I expect she's just close to something. We've got multiple lanes up. This one actually isn't that well positioned because it restricts the S to that spot, but like something's probably going to hit here at some point. What is this, like achieved if we have a additional tile to play through? But yeah, I think Benji puts it pretty well when it comes to, you know, just trying to think about what will put you up ahead in score in just a simplest sense. I mean, obviously that breaks down into a ton of sub-problems, depending on the rack and the board that you're working with, but it's kind of nice to have a good, solid heuristic to guide how you're going to think about stuff like that. Okay, we're not really going to have something like achieved or... I mean, this board is not actually closed. You've got lanes all over the place. Something like novice. I mean, it dumps all my vowels, but 45 points, I don't think I'm going to say no to that. Keeping HD blank, yeah. I think I easily do it. Okay, this has to be something. Maybe. The thing about the C is that even though I'm splitting the C and the H and the H could still go together given the position on the board, so I'm definitely looking at this. Mamuga, this was a great place to play on till, because you could have things like tile, or till with two L's and such, or tilt go on top of it. But now that I've constricted this lane, it's much less appealing. So Mamuga, I don't know how much you know about the scoring rules, but one of the essential ones is that when you play all 7 tiles of your rack at once, you get a 50-point bonus. So that's what we usually call a bingo. In some other regions, they just call that a bonus. But oh, also the I hook here on top of icon is still open. So Mamuga, what often happens, especially when players are holding really flexible tiles like the blank, is that you'll steadily build towards some kind of high-scoring play, such as a bingo. You won't always be doing that. As you can see, my opponent's just going to jump on that. I mean, I did kind of open it up, but I'm still reasonably ahead. Can probably just do something here. I don't know if I can end with the H there. I can definitely at least end with the D, like with something like an ode. Keeping both vowels at the end there, yeah, maybe I can do better, but if not, that's a reasonable choice. Unless I actually see something. I think I will just take it. And yeah, it puts me into a bit of a vowel-heavy situation here. But I didn't really want to leave that open either, so... Chevied was missed. Okay, I didn't know chevied, I don't think. Or at least I would know chevy. I don't think I would have necessarily known it was a verb. So yeah, we'll see what we can do with this. I mean, obviously I just want to get rid of some vowels in some kind of sensible fashion, hopefully on double the A. I don't know if there's a particularly good place to do that. Obviously this board is still kind of pretty bingo prone in some ways. Another fish 1. About 100 points behind. As long as I don't open up anything really dangerous, I think I'm okay. Like, even enticing, as you can see, only hit for 62 because, you know, positionally this was not actually too much of a threat except for the E at the end. Anyway, not very many 5-vowel bingos in existence, so we should just do something here. This is the kind of turn where the Collins players stress out about not having the easy dumps available. I may actually just do something simple here. Just looking at the pool quickly to see what I'm dealing with. Doesn't score much, but I'm way ahead, so... And there are 2 lanes open, so if we get hit by one, I could still kind of think about the other, especially because the vowel density on my rec means that a vowel start or ending is reasonably likely. Yeah, still pretty heavy here. I can see a couple of 8s that would go with this. I don't know if there would be any 7s. I don't think so. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think this is one of the French words that will actually go, like with the EAU-X ending. Not that we have a place for it. I don't know, because there's a whole set of those that actually does go, like, you know, couteau and rondeau and so on. And I can never keep them straight. Aboideau? Does that fit? Or no, I don't actually have to write tiles for that. Because of the S. Yeah, definitely was looking at that, though. Okay, I think we just need to continue reducing vowels. I don't really see anything more useful I could be doing. I'm just going to see where I can go with that. So yeah, it's sort of interesting that on my opponent's side it was kind of like a fish one followed by an S play just to grab some points. Sorry, I have to look at this here. Might even consider just an exchange out of this. Unless I have a good place for... just, you know... Oh, we can always just dump like that. Not much is going to go in front of the EU. 2 E's left in the bag. Yeah, I mean... I don't need the bingo to win at this point. I don't know if that was right. Because I'm sort of looking at it and thinking spending the last E that I have... maybe that has some issues. Not an open board for something like orifices, but if somehow an E gets dangled, okay, sure. I don't think, given the shape of the board, that that's going to happen, though. I don't see a place where that will actually go. So I think I just, you know, make hopefully not unreasonable plays at this point and just try to stay ahead. Did I seriously miss Sequoia? Oh, I totally did. Yeah. It's one of those where you just kind of iterate through things in your head and you just sort of overlook blank as Q because when do you see that? But at the same time, you know, you're only going to see so many alphagrams that have the 5 vowels in them, and so I should have known Sequoia pretty cold from that set. It's just that blank as Q, I think, is a blind spot for me. It's not the first time that I've had that as a blind spot for me either, though. Sequoia blank Q, yeah. No, but by knowing cold, like, I don't mean, you know, that's not the best way to put it. I don't mean so much like just being able to see it from the alphagram with a blank. But although maybe that's a good one to know, just because I'm pretty sure that's not the first time I've missed that. But I mean, in general, just sort of thinking through the list of the, it's like 5 vowel 7. It's a really short list. We could just do something down here. Maybe even just do this. I was sort of thinking about the F start down here as well. Let's think about that for a moment. Yeah, because I don't want to stick myself with too many vowels here. This is not unreasonable, I think. Unless I'm missing something. Yeah, no, let's do it. Okay, this is like Warrison. Not that it goes anywhere. Probably something else in here too. Wario. Not quite. Yeah, no, I was thinking of Warrison if you have a place for an N, but I don't. Still kind of looking at this, though, if we have something that could end with A or O. Eulogia, Meowed, and Sequoia. Yeah. A-E-I-O-U blank blank. For when your rack management is just good enough to unduplicate, but not good enough to actually control the vowels. Still kind of looking at this D here, because it's very tantalizing. In general, though, probably not going to sit on this rack for too long. Do we have something that begins with word? Some kind of word salad? I don't know if we do. Okay, let's just play this off somehow. Everything's going to start closing up there anyway, so... looking at this still, in case there's something that would actually be useful. I mean, looking at the remaining pool, what am I worried about? You got a J there. I don't want to be hit by some kind of massive J bingo. You know what? Something like here might actually be useful. Let's just do this, or one of these. No, this case O. Let's keep the O. Yeah, it doesn't really matter given the pool currently. Let's just take it. Okay, the kin is going to go down there. Yeah, I guess that's the thing about Sequoia, is that you wouldn't sort of think about it as by probability either. But I haven't looked exhaustively at like the really vowel-heavy stuff in Collins yet, like the basically 5 vowel bingos and such. I have looked over it in NWL, but not in some time. You know, just to catch the stuff like the Ipamia and Dupnia and Abwado, Abwato, and all that stuff. Just looking at this quickly to see if there's maybe some kind of neat little I ending there. Not that I can see. L goes here, T goes there. I don't know if anything is actually going to be useful in that position. Oidioid, yeah. And the best 5L7, yeah, I agree. Absolutely fantastic. Never played it. I feel like I might have got close to it once, but... what am I even doing? Let's figure out something to do with, like, all this. Maybe just, you know, do 10 points here and there. And we've got 4 in the bag. Yeah, sure, let's do it. I guess the thing I should have been doing is, like, close off lanes and such, in case we get hit by something really threatening, but I'm looking at the pool right now, and I'm just sort of unscrambling that and thinking about 7s that would have a J. From what I was seeing on a previous rack, maybe there was some stuff there, but yeah, the vowel distribution is not really something that works that well with it, though. I mean, with the J anyway. Just short of stuff like jaguars and all that stuff. Kind of looking at this just in case we have something that could go, but you'd have 3 consonants in a row. You'd have to have the M on top of the U. Not likely. I feel like I actually do have something here. But yeah, I mean, I see a couple of things that won't go, like oralism and things like that, but we shouldn't write off this lane because of the L. Yeah, because you could have something that does something there. I mean, obviously this is just now blocked, so... Well, bag is empty. We just need to take a look at the opponent's rack quickly. AEGRRTU. No, I don't think I'm too worried about anything there. So, we just play out of this, I guess, and call it a day. Should try to find some kind of, you know, decent out into, but... Let's see here. Failing that, I don't know if that opens up any 6s down at the bottom. I feel like it might. No. Not really. You learned it was pronounced oidioid. Oidioid. Oidioid, okay. Yeah, wouldn't have necessarily thought that. Definitely was thinking just oidioid. Okay, should maybe think about out and 2 here. I mean, we can just do that, and my remaining tiles will go pretty much anywhere. I'm just making sure there's nothing really huge that I'm opening up on the left side. I feel like that's not actually a good play, but like that would probably have something much better going up here, especially with the use of the blank. But let's not be too picky. Also, could think about, you know, setups here that might be difficult for my opponent to use, so... Yeah, thinking about the consonants on that side. No, I don't think I actually have much that will be useful there. Let's just close it out. Pretty comfortable with the win at this point, so no need to fixate on too much at once. Raj over there, okay. Let's just go somewhere. I'm looking at this here. But failing anything that will just go on top of ER, I think we'll just take an out. I was trying to make something a little fancier, but let's just take it. Okay, so yeah, this one I felt pretty comfortable with at a fairly early stage, I think. There was a part in the middle where my opponent was being a bit fishy. I did have some pretty bad misses there, I think, but we'll look over that with the available time that I have, basically until my next pairing comes up. So thank you for the GGs. Let me just make sure I'm not too hurried for things like pairings. And then we'll make sure we get into the examiner. Okay, this one... Oh! Yeah, I can see why Zoe didn't approve. That's a huge miss. That is so clearly to play, too, like when you're looking at Z with all those vowels. Okay. My bad. So yeah, definitely earned a couple of frowns from Zoe there. Overtax, that was miss. Wow. I find that I kind of have this thing where when I get the tiles for the over prefix, I tend to leap to it right away. Same with things like out. Like I think I tend to fixate on them a little too much, but luckily dodged that over here. I mean, I think it can be easy sometimes to just, you know, see an X spot and just jump on it. Especially if you're keeping the blank, but I think the bingo is definitely play there. Hob was not unreasonable, as you can see. Yeah, happy with it. And, yeah, kind of a consonant-heavy rack on the other side here, but playing off V, yeah, no, I definitely don't agree with that. I think, you know, unless you have a very specific thing that you're drawing for, like, the positions just don't support that. You're just way too heavy on stuff without knowing what hook you want and what bingo you want, I think, to stay that consonant heavy. Probably just an extreme reluctance to keep the V, maybe. Yeah, I was looking in that position. Maybe that's better. I actually don't really know my hooks on Colin. I don't know if it's just the S. I think it is just the S. And yeah, this town apparently ain't big enough for both the Zoe blank 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 and Wolges. So yeah, no, I was thinking about the I hook at that point and also just like leaving myself tons of space because I was building towards something. Yeah, this is one of those racks where, I mean, I can see why she wouldn't want to just continue fishing one tile at a time. But keeping the Q out of that, okay, I see. QRN blank as a leave. I mean, this is going to be a bit of a rough turn regardless. Apart from keeping the blank, I think I would have just dumped. Opening, look at this, Palmation as a 10. And, okay, with 6 tiles, okay, that's why it doesn't actually hit that hard, but Woogles apparently really likes this. Lipomata. Oh, okay, yeah, no, it's a plural of lipoma. If you have multiple tumors of fatty tissues, then those are lipomata. Lipomata. Liposuction, lipo. Yeah, I guess it would be lipo. Opaline, yeah, I'll take it. Opaline, I'm pretty sure... I actually don't know how confident I was about the S-hook here, because sometimes I get some of the I-N-E, A-T-E endings, etc. mixed up when it comes to the S-hooks, D-hooks, or just lack of hooks. But Opaline, I think I knew. But like I said, I thought the position was kind of horrible to begin with. You know, you got this, you got this, you got this. Everything's just pretty risky. Acquiring. Also a miss. Keeping what? QI? Yeah, no, the QI, but with something likely to come after that. Okay, that's certainly a situation that could be worse. And yeah, I was looking at Fet, that's fine. Turling. This Turling take anything in front? I am probably just thinking about the Battle of Stirling, like in Braveheart, you know, like a Stirling Bridge in Scotland. Actually reminds me of an anecdote about the filming of Braveheart, where like some of the locals asked them why they were filming the Battle of Stirling Bridge without the bridge And the filmmakers just said, I think Mel Gibson said something to the effect of, well, the bridge was just in the way, and the locals said, aye, that's what the English found. Yeah, I mean, Jalamokas, obviously, I'm not thinking about, like, pound sterling. I'm just thinking of sterling, the place. Or starling, the bird, I guess. Lots of stuff you could work with there. Yeah, sort of a bit of tunnel vision at this point, sort of like thinking about this and maybe not looking at some of the better possibilities that don't spend the S. And about the S hook here, for that matter. So, I think I just sort of, like, looked at this and wanted to capitalize without actually thinking it through. So lots of alternatives here, I think. That would have been nice. Yeah, lots of stuff that would go down here. Oh, and this was a miss. Wow, okay. Yikes. That's an unfortunate one. I was playing somebody who is a swing player between our upper and lower divisions, so, you know, like, we can expect some misses. We've all kind of gone through that phase where we didn't necessarily see the stuff that looks easy now, so. But I definitely kind of got away with a lot of turns there, where against a lot of other players, I would have seen the score even up very quickly, so. Never too good to be too comfortable with a lead like that and go over the examiner afterwards and see that your opponent was just kind of handing you a lot of turns that you should not count on. Did I miss with this one? I think I did miss. Or, oh no, that's not my rack. That's, this was my rack. I was wondering, like, did I miss with this rack, rather? But, nope. I think I couldn't really even see that many potential 8s in it. But yeah, my opponent was just consistently close to something, and Chevied, yeah, we had it noted in the chat earlier that this was a miss. Like I said, I just wasn't really confident in that. I knew Chevy, but... Right, because that's literally what a Chevy Chase is. In its original form as a historic form of hunt. Yeah, just all kinds of stuff. Enticing finally does go down. But I'd gotten away with a lot of turns before that. Oh, I didn't even think about the H here. Just a massive blind spot with the consonant-to-consonant hooks. Because I was so fixated on killing this off that I didn't even look at this in the bottom right. That was a pretty bad blind spot on my part there. I think even though, you know, this denied this spot, and this is not really threatening to anybody who doesn't have the H, that's... yeah, clearly I should have just gone for it. Yeah, still some pretty tough situations here with, in this case, a rack with no bingo. Playing off just a U, yeah, no, I mean, that doesn't open up anything. I think that's the issue with that play. It doesn't do anything for the board. Like, it might get you closer to something else that goes down, but not very active. Here, yeah, clearly not much to work with. I did consider this. I mean, that would have opened up this, but I am kind of building towards something myself at that point. Still nothing here. Oh, this was when Doles went down, I think. After all that fishing. This was the Sequoia miss. That, I think we've gone over at some length. But lots of other Valadums I didn't consider. I think this is okay. I mean, at this point, I'm ahead by enough that I am, you know, kind of keeping the blank in case a lane is handed to me, but not broken up not to just drop it. And yeah, it continues to be a very difficult situation on my opponent's part, having a rack that's a pretty obvious 7. But which just does not go on this board. Like, this is surprisingly well defended from that stuff. I mean, it's not defended at all. Like, it's just an open lane, but it's surprisingly impervious to anything the bag is letting us throw at it. Yeah, pretty happy with if there. It's considering some other stuff in a similar position, but pairings are coming up for my next round, so I'm just going to speed through this. I don't know if I knew this. Okay, so I had no misses over here. I didn't think there were. A mounted native soldier in India. Interesting. And, yeah. As far as the out goes, yeah, I was trying to look for something that would have S in other tiles. I just didn't see Plasm, I think, with the blank. Miasm, that's kind of interesting. I don't think I was clear that Miasma would drop the A the way that Plasma also drops the A. Anyway, my next match is going to be a Collins match, for people who want to see one of those. So, we'll be over there in just a moment. So yeah, like I said, that game I just kind of got away with a lot of fishy stuff from my opponent and a lot of misses on that side. And can't really count on that, so let's just get into a Collins game with Jomi, who is, as I always like to introduce him, also a very active Mario Maker and Kaizo Mario player. So, surprising amount of crossover, actually, in terms of people who have kind of arisen on one side of my stream coverage and expressed an interest in the other one, or... Potline. Potline. I feel like... Oh, yeah. This is the one that has both Potline and Topline. At least in NWL. Collins, I am not sure what else it takes. We need to do something about this V, this G, etc. Probably just VOG it up somewhere. You know, VOG. I have the A, and I have consonants that go with it. Let's... So this is not really close. I think we just do this. Unless I should have looked at something more carefully, but... Sometimes you just see ugly stuff in your rack and you don't bother to look. And Umuga, a YouTube channel that is dedicated to picking locks. That sounds extremely useful, actually. I kind of want to look for that now. Every now and then, Mamuga, somebody suggests something in the chat that I should look into, and it usually turns out to be like really interesting. That, you know, people who come by, I think very often they'll have just some other kind of obsession on YouTube or Twitch that they want to share, and which turns out to be this whole new world that was previously closed off to me. Like that time last year when somebody introduced me to the concept of marble racing. And led me to Marble Racing YouTube, which has millions of views. But yeah, lockpicking is something that I can absolutely see why people want to learn it. I mean, whether they're safe cracking for nefarious purposes or just want to learn it because it's an object of curiosity, right? Like, you would expect a lot of stuff like that, like skill sets that are kind of well-known, but which people don't necessarily stop to think about, and just kind of keep at the back of their minds something they want to learn someday. Like, a lot of those are potentially very popular. You know, magic tricks, for instance, like card tricks. You would expect that to have a lot to it, even with the kind of historical magician's taboo against just spreading secrets everywhere. We don't have anything up here. We don't have a D, which I don't know if that will stay in Collins in a long term, or if it's going to be just one of those that will get popped out for having no alternative meaning. Let's see. We can also just do something like this. Vowel heavy leave here, but, you know, really does kind of close everything off. In some ways. Or restricts the space, anyway, I should say. It doesn't actually close, technically speaking. I mean, you've got space to work with, but you definitely start having some parallel blockage all over the place at a very early stage. This is indicted. Like I said, we kind of close things off at a very early stage, so indicted is not going to go down unless we have some place to work with. And it's still not going to go down, so might as well see if there's anything going on. Mamuga, just pop it in the Discord. I mean, I'm not going to click on it here right now anyway. But if you want to pop it into Discord, that's great. I'd love to take a look at it. Okay, so what do we have otherwise? I'm trying to see if maybe there's something that would go down there. I don't want to be doing something like... I don't want to be doing anything that would keep both eyes. And that restricts my options quite a bit when it comes to playing over there. Let's see. I mean, we can also just do something like that. Is that... Actually, no. I'm thinking of... I don't know if I want to play off the E that way, but it does get me out of some trouble. Maybe. Like, I don't want to be doing just, you know, small plays or something. Well, actually, I'm so far behind, I actually do need just space for bingos. So, kind of a tough place. Like, I actually do need to be the one who opens up a bit here. So if we just kind of split this, or find another way to do that. Keep T or keep D? Whoops. Keep T for the potential hook. Okay. So nothing really to work with just yet. Still kind of looking at this. Tagarine. I mean, my opponent is kind of good enough that, you know, he'll just notice stuff, but he's also somebody who will kind of take advantage of that from time to time and just try stuff, and so I can't actually get too complacent here. Tagarine, I'm trying to see if I remember that. Tagarine. I'm also simultaneously looking at plays. But yeah, because if you have like the UN start here, no, I'm thinking of something like uplifted. I don't know if unlifted is something I want to try. No, I don't think so. I'm probably thinking of uplifted. I might just do more rack management here. I don't know. I guess the triple remains open. That also kind of closes off, but triple is still open. This is still open. I just don't know if I'm missing something. Yeah, not going to look at that for too long. Okay, this is elative. Or relative if we have something relative to that, but we don't have an R open. But elative is going to go down here. We're going to have a raid from Foundering. Let's give that a quick shout out. I know Foundering, you were doing music earlier today. I don't know if you were also doing Scrabble at all, but people who are interested in word games and in ragtime and boogie woogie and jazz piano. Definitely head over there. Foundering has also recently been running a silent film night on Friday evenings in North American time, so highly recommend that stream. And Foundering, we actually did play your Jazz Harmony quiz level the other day in the puzzle stream. I should send you a timestamp for that if you haven't had a chance to take a look at that yet. Ah, you watched it already, okay. Yeah, I would hope I would be able to get that. I mean, I was actually still thinking afterwards. Like, I was so tired during the puzzle stream that I was thinking afterwards about what I was saying about, like, always perceiving the sharp 9 and a flat 10. And wondering if that's actually correct. Like, do I actually do that, or am I just confusing it with something else? Because I'm trying to think about... You know, it actually got me thinking afterwards about the justification for notating it as a sharp 9. Like, whether that's coming from the harmonic series or something. And anyway, just led me way off track. Elative, it's going to have the R hook on top. It's going to be spectacular, unless we have something that goes through the N, be it through there or through here. Let me just check quickly, because I don't want to regret a massive miss there. No, I don't think so. Let's just go elative. Leave it as is. Yeah, no, I mean, I see the notation as a sharp 9 all the time. It's just that, like, I mentally think of it. Like, if I'm thinking, you know, with C as the root, I just sort of think of that as E flat for some reason. Probably has to do with the way it resolves. Like, you know, like sharp 11, I have no problem perceiving that as sharp 11, because, like, sharp 11 just pushes up, right? But anyway, those of you who are not music theory people in the chat, do pardon us a moment while we go over some of that stuff. But let me think about this for a moment. Still looking at that Y up here. I was thinking of something like Mothy. And I'm just taking a moment to think about whether that's actually good. I think it is. This is such a volatile board. Look at, like, all this dangling everywhere. Oh, we don't have something like Fathom, okay. Double M. I think Mothy, like, I've definitely seen Mothier. I feel like, despite having looked at the 5-letter sort of mid-range tile list, especially with the 1,000 or so words that end with Y in NWL, like, I find that I still have a lot of trouble remembering that stuff without associating it with something like an IES or IER ending. Bonzer. I know Bonds. Bonzer, Bonzist. Bonzist. No, definitely not Bonzist. But Bonzer. Oh, it goes with bronze, right? Bronze and Bonzer. I'm gonna see, because, like, you know, my opponent, Jomi, his word knowledge is incredible, but he does pull stuff every now and then. Like, he does try stuff, but he tries stuff in positions of desperation, which is not the case here. Like, he'll just try to catch me sometimes when I'm not paying attention. So. Just looking at this, because we have the R, I'm just trying to see if we have something that could actually use the R over relative. Q is not really going to be very cooperative with me here. We don't even have the W's open for that Collins Classic WAQF, which, you know, WTF. Let's see what we can do here, then. Yeah, I don't see like a good play to dump the queue. I might have to keep the queue out of this turn. It might actually be correct equity-wise to do so if I have a better play I can work with. So yeah, Elvenite and Ventail, Jelimokas was suggesting earlier. Yeah, again, you know, Collins, I should actually pick up more of that stuff, especially stuff like Ventail, where you would be thinking in terms of the, I want to say the hook as well. Because you've got like Ventail and Aventail that are all good in NWL. What am I even doing here? I got totally sidetracked. Yeah, so I can do some kind of small play to queue there. I feel like that's not great given my current position, but maybe that will allow me to draw into something a little more useful up here, or... I feel like the queue is just going to be too restrictive here. Like, it might actually be correct. I don't know. So here, I think I actually have something. I want to string the F. It's about 40-something points. Lots of E's to deal with here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Frere is actually good. Even in NWL, I think I've seen it. I don't really see something better. Let's just take it. Burning off way too much time here. Okay, this should be something. I mean, we'll have Semir coming down here. We will probably have something over here as well. If we're thinking... If we get into a position where we can think about ace, we would have stuff like Miss Eden. Semir right now is first choice, because it's the one I see. Maybe there's something better. Like if there's something that would maybe get the M onto triple. But we'll just have to see what my position is, obviously coming out of my opponent's turn. If this is blocked, I do need to think about alternatives. You know, maybe something with an ISM ending, or with this many vowels? Not likely. But yeah, we'll just have to see. I mean, right now, because of the V and the K, like this little stepladder with a V over here and a Q, like this whole quadrant looks pretty tight right now. So, unless some plays kind of stretch out over here, this is likely to just remain closed. So I should be thinking ahead, you know, if I need some kind of opening going left, how we could do something. Just gonna look at this quickly for the sake of diligence. No, let's just take it. Okay, got the X here. We do have an X spot, like a mild X spot over here. Should be looking at this as well for Ixora. Ixora is good. That would probably be first choice. 57 off of that, even though... no, I think with that many points, the leave is acceptable. I am thinking about the pool at the same time. The pool is very eye-heavy, as you can see. Also, lots of S's that are not really going to be too useful on this board. This is not really an S-hook board. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting situation where, depending on the distribution in the bag, I think any kind of lane at this point, we have a very tight score, but any kind of lane is likely to work against me. That is also not going to be great, but an X play will solve that. If I can think about what I want here, I think it just has to be Ox. That will somewhat even it up. And then we get into this situation here where we have like CC, I, U, and then a whole bunch of other more bingo-friendly tiles, but S's that don't really do S stuff like they often would. I mean, you're going to have some stuff like, you know, S coming down here or elsewhere, but let me just be diligent about this first and not just jump on the X spot without actually thinking about it. I think it has to be it. Ox or X? We have 1 O, 1 A left in the bag. Let's just keep A. Misses was a notable option. N7. Let me take a look at that. Oh, with the imp. Yeah. It's very easy. Like, even when the V has something else it can latch onto, like with either the O or the I in this position. I'm trying to remember if Collins has a whole bunch of additional AEs as well. Yeah, the A also goes there in Collins, I think. Always have to remember that Collins has all of those additional 3s and an AE. I still have some issues, like even knowing the words, I don't always have very intuitive visualization of them. But when I see the V here, I think sometimes I just register that as being closed, even if it's no longer actually closed. I probably do the same thing with a C as well, but who knows? Oh, also, I only just noticed that my opponent actually burned a blank on the D and Jared. For some reason, I didn't think about that. In spite of the fact that I had looked at the pool and saw that no Ds were available. Look at this. This is perfectly tied. We actually have to play the endgame. Okay, so, yeah, I have to think about how to play the endgame here. We're dealing with a situation where we have 5 in a bag and 3 S's in the pool, and the S's actually are going to be a bit of a problem for something this close, I think. I actually have no idea whether something like Bonzer takes an S. Because Bonds does, but... like, that's something that actually could become relevant. But yeah, you see S here, he's probably thinking, you know, small plays with the S's at this point. 3 in the bag, this is a potential S problem. It's not the only S problem, I don't think, but... yeah, at this point, I have to score. 3 in the bag. What can I do? Like, I'm currently looking at the C in this position over Kerr. Because in terms of spots that will actually use the C, which I should do and spend quickly, that's one of the first ones that does come to mind. Looking at this too, in case there's something we can string over there. If I'm actually worried about the S here, maybe I should play up there, but I mean, like I said, it's not the only S spot that's going to be an issue. I think I just need to do something here. Probably can. 5 vowels, 5 consonants in the bag. I would draw into something probably pretty vowel heavy. Because that would empty the bag. It would give my opponent a bit of a tempo advantage going into the finale. Maybe I should consider like C8A, but that might restrict my flexibility because of the way the N continues to be doubled. So the thing is, do I prioritize undoubling or do I prioritize having vowels? And on a board that's kind of closed-ish, and when you have spots like this that are mostly just open to the A, I think I prioritize unduplicating. I think, because, like, you know, 50% chance of vowels out of the bag. The other question is, should I be emptying? But the thing is, the C doesn't have a lot to work with if I don't take it now. I don't know if that's the right way to think about it. Because I'm thinking at that point that, like, the C is actually a serious liability if I don't take the scoring spots that are actually available. Oh, you know what? There could have been something like coma here as well if I wanted to play off 2, not empty the bag. Not very many points, obviously. Similar number of points, actually. 18 points here. Maybe coma is better. But yeah, as you can see, I'm in a significantly worse spot than my opponent as far as the rack goes, and Sealams. Sealams. I mean, this is going to be a winning play anyway. I guess the rational move is to challenge if I'm even a little bit unsure, right? Like, I should just give him the 5 if it's going to be a 5. Otherwise, I'm just going to be making, like, other small plays like this. That's not going to do much for me. That's not going to win. He's got IST. It's likely going to be an out. He's got multiple spots. Like, here. Yeah, he is absolutely going to go out, so let's just give him 5, potentially, just to check. Yeah, I thought so, but yeah, at this point, I mean, that's it. So yeah, probably just going to go with something like that. I mean, oh, hang on, what am I looking at here? Now over here, I mean, he's going to go out, so I just need to find the highest scoring play, right? Like 12 minus 6 there, that's plus 6, plus 5. Maybe something that over here. My opponent was actually just saying he just thought of Silamata. Or, yeah, I'll have to look up some of that afterwards. Also with the COE start. I think I just take stuff like who now at this point. I mean, wait, no, not you, B. What am I doing? What am I doing? Okay, no, whoops. Okay, no, this is a bit of a endgame vision thing. It's like, okay, you know, let's just try to get rid of stuff like that. Oh, he's gonna hand it to me. Okay, fine. Very kind of him. He actually just told me, yeah, he wouldn't have noticed. I mentioned it in the chat. It's like, oh my god, kick that off. And, anyway. This is what happens online. Just the vision for 2s kind of cuts both ways. The lack of vision for 2s, I should say. So, yeah, I guess the only thing... so Bonzer does not take the S. I guess that's what you're checking. Bonzer. There's no Bonzist though, right? It's just Bonzer, I think. But yeah, really interesting game. It was pretty much perfectly tied up going into the end, and then at that point, the final draws kind of fell apart for me. But part of it was I think my opponent was kind of building decently at that point too, in terms of, you know, holding some S's for a bit of insurance near the end. So we can walk through it, look at some of the racks. This one I think I do want to spend a bit of time on because there's some interesting stuff going on in it. So no 7s beginning with bonds, I see. So yeah, let's just go through it. So yeah, this is the pot line, top line rack. I know the pot line, top line set in NWL. I think the other one's Pontile, Pointel, maybe Collins. Sharp instruments. An iron rod used in holding manipulating glassware during manufacture. Lots of related words there too. So yeah, he's just gonna go pot line. Oh, vongole. If you're up for Italian food today. I believe that's what it is. It's like the pasta, right? Well, yeah, well, clams rather, because linguine vongole would be pasta with clams. Very useful to know that stuff. You have to know the menu. Ovolo, this is not the first time, even recently, that I've just overlooked Ovolo, but I don't know. With the hotspot positioning. Actually, up here is probably good. It's decently safe, although maybe not. I think Vogue is okay. Shouldn't stress too much about that. I mean, lanes are still open. The V actually does bite me later because the V totally closes off the top left. So it does become a liability in the long term, but... Gawky over here and Doc over there. Yeah. Oh, he's going to go for Caw. Yeah. A couple of different choices depending on what he wants to work with. He knows he's going to finish with some kind of really constant heavy rack anyway, so... And yeah, Tactics47, thank you for coming by. And glad you enjoyed the stream. So yeah, didn't miss anything here. I'm just going to have a quick parallel. Yeah, this is going to be pretty clear as well. Did I miss anything? No. I missed a titty. Titty. Let's check that in terms of lexicon. Okay, that's why I wouldn't know it. Because I was looking at stuff like that. I was looking at stuff like Teddy and Nettie, and I ruled them out specifically because I didn't want the II leave. But I wouldn't have known Titty, I don't think. So Tagarine, he sees it. What is a Tagarine? It's a junk shop, okay. Faulted on a double... Oh, yeah. Should have considered that. Absolutely should have considered that. Edify also just missed stuff like this. Considering that how heavily I was looking at this spot, I don't know why I didn't see the various FY endings there. So. And yeah, Der Yogurt Hose or Meng, that is absolutely correct, although you'd have to end that with the IES. It is all Gleek to me. Sort of interesting. Oh, I don't know if I knew the H hook on this one. I think it's the equivalent. Yeah, it's the equivalent of a QOPH. But oh yeah, no. Even in NWL, I think it's good. Yeah, no, I absolutely know it. I know my NWL hooks. I just sometimes have a board vision that plays tricks on me. So yeah, this was the stuff that we missed earlier that actually falls on the lane over there that was suggested earlier. And this stuff is just that, you know, I don't know it because I don't know the Collins Dictionary well enough, but both of these would have landed the V on a prime spot. Happy with elative though. Elative at that point I would have been thinking about like keeping lanes open to catch up with another R. Considering how far behind I am at this point, it's kind of nice that I was able to even up. I think I only just noticed just how far in the hole I was before elative went down. Yeah, Trent. Let me check Drent for a moment, because that's an important hook to know then in front of rent and the various forms of renting, etc. Good one to know in Collins. So yeah, I saw Mothy, I didn't think about Femi. Femi evaluates quite a bit nicer. Also, you have the E there that continues to keep lanes open. Much more bingo prone than the options with Mothy, but that's okay, we'll take it. So yeah, Zoner. Oh, so he picks Bonzer over Zoner to get rid of the double Bs at the expense of 12 points. That's an interesting choice there. I think he absolutely sees Zoner in this. I don't know if maybe there's like some kind of extension that is a concern here. We can check that, in fact. Okay, I guess we see Blazoner or hit Zoner with a blank for a Z. I wouldn't have known the second one there. What is that? Oh, His Honor. His Honor. That's a really interesting spelling. Good in both dictionaries too. Feels like it's something, I don't know, out of Dickens or something very local anyway. But yeah, I don't know if he's concerned about extensions there so much as just leave in terms of not keeping the double B. Yeah, I was trying to look for stuff that would fit in the spots. I don't know if I would have known much of this stuff. Oh, there's Edmund Spencer rearing his head again. And Be Pity. Really interesting one there. Bogey. Okay, this kind of gets me back on track a little bit. Frere was kind of nice to have. Yeah, this would have stretched a bit to the left without actually opening anything much, I guess. Okay, this is the part where I missed Missy's because this spot here was sort of tricky to see, like going down here. Siamese, what is Z? Do I actually know that? I feel like I would have looked at Z7s in NWL at some point. But yeah, that's Collins only with the EZE ending. Interesting one to know. I actually do know the Semir Seriema set. Because it's a very memorable one. I don't think I was really thinking about it at the time. I think I probably would have picked Semir anyway, just because of the situation with the vowel down low. But there we go. So yeah, double blank here for Jared is actually the best play. I mean, at that point, he's sort of thinking in outscoring mode and just taking the points where they come. The other thing you can see here is that at that point, he's holding one out of the 3 remaining S's that were unseen to me. So S is not going to be that useful for bingos, but going to be pretty useful for endgame, you know, little bits of scoring that are flexible. So yeah, good use of the blank there, actually. And considering that he's sort of in this position where X is unseen and like he doesn't actually know if spending the blank that way is going to put him that far ahead. But given the other options there, this is a really interesting play. Yeah, because the other ones don't pull him ahead by enough. Like the sheer point total there, I think, is a pretty serious argument for that, given that the blank is unlikely to be used for a bingo. I think I just didn't consider Nox. I do know it. It's just kind of a board vision thing to go for Ox instead of... Yeah, no, I think if I consider Nox, I'd definitely take it every time. Absolutely no reason to be keeping the second end there. Silica. But yeah, he's just going to go for the SI here. Notice that he's only got 2 out of 3 S's at this point, so he picked one up out of the bag after Jerd. Just gotta look at the potential for how things could have gone down. Yeah, I think I definitely should have just played Nox and drew an additional tile into the bag. I don't know at this point what makes much of a difference. Unica... yeah, should have considered the things that would go on top of Ox. I just didn't really think about Ox as something that's still prone to front hooks. I think that's just clearly a better play. Particularly, yeah, you got 3 in the bag, you would try to get down to 6. I mean, you're not really going to have that many plays that have high turnover at all. Like, everything's going to be a short play. I guess given the bag AAN is not the worst thing to work with, given that they are the last remaining A's. So C-Loms is well spotted. Fascist would have gone down. Oh yeah, because of that Collins ST, which I'm getting better at visualizing that, but it is a difficult one. So yeah, this was just blah. UB over there. What's going on here? Into oh, that's a nice parallel. Yeah, I was sort of having a bit of tunnel vision for this whole corner here at this point, because at this point I am thinking about this as a lost game, right? That, you know, after C-Lums I don't think I have a win. Maybe it's still winnable on this turn. Particularly because, like, that would kind of restrict this position. And kind of get my opponent into a situation where he has to think about the C. Although the C still goes pretty nicely in places like that. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if much really can be done about that. This looks like it's a play that was kind of my last chance, like right here on the Unica turn, when I was considering CAA actually. But that was when I was sort of deciding, you know, do I do... Oh, I didn't see this position. Okay. That scores really well, actually. What's in the bag at this point that I draw? I draw... A-I-I-N-O-U-U. So, you have O-N... And what is it? O-N-I are in the bag at this point. So I play this. I have O-N-I coming out of that. If I have a place for like anion or something, probably not. But like, it's somewhat flexible. It's just that I'm dealing with an opponent who has two S's left and has a decent amount of scoring potential with them, at least on the scale we're talking about. So yeah, after this play though, after Ken, I guess is probably not winnable. Might have to run this one through Quackle just to look at my endgame options a little more carefully. And yeah, Jellimokas, this is kind of back to original rare era DKC, DKC2 specifically. I just had a DKC series mix going. It was mostly Tropical Freeze, but with some occasionally some dips back into classic DKC. So, anyway, it looks like that's going to be it for this game. I don't know if there's much else I want to look at. A lot of it is word knowledge issues or visualization issues when it comes to the shorter Collins words. That's something I know is a weakness. Obviously, high probability-ish word over here, like with the V options that were available earlier. Yeah, that's high probability. Just don't even need to put an ish on that. That's just a pretty big one here. Although, you know, elative turned out to be okay. Like, I'm happy I managed to catch up. Like, I didn't manage to close it out, but considering how far in the hole I was and the difficulty of some of the other racks, like the cube rack early on, I don't think I did, like, really, really poorly. But like I said, just some word knowledge issues, and also as the board closes up, like, I find that maybe I don't have as much of a vision for, you know, difficult little parallels in tight spots. But anyway, that's going to be it for this stream. It's just going to be these 3 games here. And thank you everybody for coming by, and especially all the people who, you know, were able to spot things and call me on them after I missed them. Thank you especially to both Physics and Foundering for the raids earlier. Extra typo, you need a new screen. Oh, is there an issue that had come up with your current setup that I wasn't actually aware of? I'm not sure, because like I've been overlapping with your streams so much that I haven't been able to catch you as consistently as before lately. Or, yeah, you were supposed to stream today, okay. I'll have to raid somebody completely different. I see. I'll be scanning around for that in just a moment. We'll send you off to somebody interesting. Blue Elvis is actually on, and I might send you over there since a lot of you know him from the Scrabble side, even though he is streaming chess today, I believe. So we'll probably pass you folks over there to say hello. But for now, that's pretty much going to be all from me for today. We'll do more Scrabble content as we go, and currently this is kind of a regular program. We've been doing some other things on the side when I can fit in some extra nights in my very unreasonable late night schedule. But I'm glad I could run this session today, and that's we had a lot of Scrabbler turnout over here. So yeah, Extra Type, I hope you get that set up together soon. Thank you once again for all the raids earlier and for everybody participating in chat. And we'll send you off in just a moment, so have a good evening, good night, and until next time, fare thee well.